You don't wake up broke. You wake up committed to a life you can't afford. And the worst part is, it doesn't look like failure. It looks like progress. You don't ruin your finances in one dramatic moment. You do it quietly, in small upgrades, polite yeses, and monthly payments. Tiny decisions that make your life feel like it's finally starting to make sense. And for a while, it works, at least from the outside. Level 1, improvements. You get the better apartment, the cleaner clothes, the dinners where the bill arrives face down. You stop checking prices. You start saying, I deserve this. I'll figure it out. And nothing feels wrong. That's the problem. The trap doesn't feel like a mistake. It feels like progress. You're not buying yachts. You're not being reckless. You're just catching up. That's what you tell yourself. You're tired of feeling behind. Tired of looking temporary, tired of feeling like your life hasn't caught up to your effort. So when the upgrade appears, you take it. Phone, couch, car, membership, nothing extreme, just improvements. That's the word, improvements. But improvements don't feel like spending. They feel like correction, like finally fixing something. So you spend without feeling like a spender. That's the shift. You stop asking, can I afford this? You start asking, does this fit the life I want? Those are not the same question. One protects you, the other performs for you, and performance is expensive. Level 2, the invisible baseline. At first, the numbers still work. The rent is higher, but better. The car is expensive, but reliable. The clothes cost more, but you look the part. Everything has a reason. That's why it works. Nothing feels like a mistake on its own, but it stacks. Quietly. The problem isn't one purchase, it's what happens next. Your life starts stacking costs faster than you can carry them. And you don't notice, because everything still looks fine. Structure is invisible, and invisible things don't get rewarded. Nobody compliments your savings. Nobody notices your restraint. They notice the visible life, the polished one. So you build that instead, because it works. It gets reactions, it gets approval. It gets rid of that feeling that something in your life is unfinished. You walk into your apartment and think, this is more like it. You stop checking prices. You feel less small. But relief is not stability. Relief is emotional. Stability is mathematical. And math does not care how hard you try. Level 3, the raise trap. Then your income goes up, and everything changes. Not because you have more money, but because you feel like you do. You get a raise, and instead of creating margin, you create expansion. You tell yourself you earned it. A little more comfort, a little more ease. And maybe you did, but comfort is quiet. It doesn't feel like a decision. It feels like a new normal. The expensive groceries become standard. The ride shares become default. The nicer place becomes the minimum. You stop seeing upgrades. You start seeing identity. That's when costs disappear. Not because they're gone, but because they're expected. You're not choosing them anymore. You're maintaining them. And maintenance is where people quietly drown. Level 4, spending is regulation. Now, something else shifts. You stop managing money, you start managing emotion. A bad day becomes delivery. A long week becomes spending. A quiet night becomes, I need something. A difficult moment becomes, I deserve this. You're not being careless, you're regulating. You're trying to feel better, and it works for a moment, then it doesn't, and you repeat it. You are curating comfort, optimizing your environment, rewarding yourself for surviving. And slowly, you are leaking money through every part of your life. Not in big, obvious ways, in soft ones, forgivable ones, subscriptions you forget, payments you barely notice, decisions you delay thinking about. The banking app changes. It's no longer neutral, it's emotional. You don't open it casually, you open it carefully. You brace before you check. You move money around like you're buying time. Be honest. When was the last time you opened your account without tension? Next month becomes the plan. Next month, you'll fix it. But next month arrives with the same habits, the same patterns, the same need for relief. Level 5, social camouflage. At this point, it's not about money anymore. It's about identity. You want to be the person who has it together, the person who doesn't hesitate, the person who says yes, the person who isn't struggling anymore. So you build that version, even if it's not stable yet. A lot of spending isn't about enjoyment. It's about hiding evidence. Evidence that things are tighter than they look. Evidence that you're still figuring it out. Evidence that one bad month would expose everything. So you stay quiet. If friends pick a place you can't afford, you go anyway. If someone suggests a trip, you nod like it's normal. You don't say what's actually true. Those things are fragile. That everything works as long as nothing goes wrong. So you keep performing. Because normal is expensive. Level 6. Friction. Then the friction starts. not collapse. Friction, your paycheck has a plan before it arrives. Every month feels pre-spent. Raises disappear, bonuses disappear, money lands already claimed by decisions you made when things felt easier. You start saying no to things you actually care about because of things you barely remember choosing. You delay investing. You delay health. You carry balances just for now. You become loyal to a version of your life that is tightening around you. People think stress leads to downsizing. It doesn't. It leads to defending, because giving it up feels like failure. So instead of shrinking the lifestyle, you shrink your margin, your savings, your flexibility, your future. Level 7, the crack. Sometimes it breaks loudly. A layoff, a bill, a sudden cost. But sometimes it's quiet. You're standing in your space, looking at everything you worked for, and something feels off. Nothing feels secure. That's the crack. You start to feel the weight, the maintenance, the constant cost of holding it all together, and it hits you. You thought you were building a life. You weren't. You were building an alibi against feeling behind, an alibi against being ordinary, an alibi against being seen clearly. And it worked until it didn't, because proof is never satisfied. It always asks for more. Level 8, room. Undoing it feels uncomfortable because it requires something different, not more money, more honesty. You have to be okay being misunderstood, choosing less without explaining it, saying no without softening it, letting go of the performance. You learn something simple. There is a difference between a good life and a convincing one. A convincing life gets attention. A good life gets room. Room to think, room to recover, room to invest, room to make mistakes, room to breathe. That's what you were supposed to build, not the image of ease, the capacity for it. It won't always look impressive. Sometimes it looks smaller, quieter, less optimized for approval, but it gives you something your old life never could: control, clarity, options. Because the most expensive purchases aren't the ones you can't afford. They're the ones you use to become someone. So you change the question, not does this fit the image, but does this protect my future? And from the outside, your life might look simpler, but from the inside, it finally feels like yours.